Woo, listen. I done pulled a whole, listen. Y'all done make Auntie work overtime tonight. Come on back in the room. Wait on for Delicious to join me so we can close out. All right, we're gonna have one more part of the con. Thank you all for coming back. This really. Thank you all for coming back. Y'all making Auntie work overtime. Oh, she's back. Here we go. All right, she's coming back. I done pulled a whole shift. Yes, a whole shift. That's all right. I'm enjoying the conversation. I really am.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to fix my chair. All right. So what point were you getting ready to make before we got off there?
Oh, okay. So.
You got a cocktail? What? Come on. All right.
So just to kind of get right back into it. With the whole situation, where I said what I had said, just to kind of dive into it a little deeper, that happened 1.5 years ago, and I had personal conversations with our, executive producer, and I told him I wish, not that it's anybody else's fault, but I wish someone would have said something to me in that moment when I said that. Because nobody said anything, and a lot of people see just what's on what's being shown, but they don't see behind it. And it's like, if somebody would have been like either Redrick or the camera guy or Ja or whoever else that was just standing around, like, whoa, like.
So I want to ask you about that.
Like, why? Like, change your wordage. Like, so I would have been like, I would have been like, why? Like, because not many people will like correct. You know what I'm saying? If someone's gonna correct you, there's something behind that. I would have been like, why? Did I say something wrong? Oh, this means this.
Let me ask you about that. What was the reaction when you said that? What was the immediate reaction to the black people that were around you? Nothing. From the black people that were around you?
Nothing.
Really?
They were just like, oh, okay. They were just like, oh, okay, well, you and Charlie should talk or whatever. It was just very, like, casual. That's why I was like, oh, okay. Like,
that's very interesting.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what I'm saying. But, like, I'm going to keep it very blunt. We're going to air some stuff out. Like, yeah. At this point, like, you guys, I've acknowledged what I've done was wrong. But you guys have lied on me. So, you know what? I'm going to air some shit out. So, I wish someone just would have said something in that moment. Like, why wait 1.5 years to, and this is another guy. No one said anything. And yeah, I think Ja did pull me aside briefly and was like, oh, you shouldn't say that, that's wrong. But he didn't give me the rundown on why it was wrong. And to my knowledge, it was like, oh, you know what? I shouldn't be saying I'm going to kill somebody. Okay, you're right. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then we moved on about it. It wasn't like a big thing.
I'm going to say this.
Because if they would have told me what that meant, I would have broke down the same way that I broke down a couple days before that episode had aired. When I went in to go do confessionals, they were not even going to tell me what that meant. They were going to let me just throw me under the bus. It took he's not even a cast member. He's a B cast member. He was doing confessionals and he came down and he said, Delicious, I'm telling you this because I at least care to a certain extent. He said, you need to go in there and not let them put that on the show. And I said, put what? And he said, do you know what lynching means? And I was like, no. He was like, that has to like do with slaves hanging black people. And I immediately was like, you are fucking lying. And Dre Sember can attest to that because 4 was the one that told me. And the thing about it is I went back upstairs and I cried my fucking eyes out. Ja and KL were standing there. That because we is in his house. Okay, we're gonna air some shit out. The studio that we film confessionals in his house. So I was crying. They all saw. And KL did an interview where he was like, oh yeah, when she found out Delicious, broke down crying. I mean, I was devastated that I had said that. Like, before this aired, and I was like, okay, you guys aren't even going to tell me. And I begged them. I begged Ja, please do not put this in. Please do not put this in. Because beside knowing what I would receive from it, I know what it was going to do to our community and to the show.
Oh my
But see,
goodness.
Jaw, I feel like I'm just gonna play. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I don't like to throw age into this, but you know, most of us on this cast are approaching 30 or in their 30s. Besides Hakeem well in his 40s. I'm so sorry, sir.
It's all right. I love him.
But, you know, you being 22, 23, or 24, however old he is, your age really showed, because I actually had a conversation with him where I was like, you know what, Jaw? I wish that if you would have aired it, it just would have been in a different way. Because like I said, I'm all about learning and trying to right my wrong and taking accountability for what I did. I wish you would have been like, you know what, instead of airing me saying that, we could have, even in now, we could have got the cast together and had something and been like, you know what? Well, we're all here today. Delicious. The reason why we're here today is because you said some foul ass shit, and we're gonna address it right now, all of us right here. And I would have been like, whoa, like I was completely fine with that. We could have, without airing it just the way that you throw it out there, me saying it like that didn't hurt just me. It hurt the show and all of us. But see, being a little older, I think it resonated in my mind a little bit, being a little bit older. Like, and I don't like to play the age card a lot, but that I feel like that really played a part in it. And the thing about it is that to dive in a little deeper, and I don't give a fuck if I get in trouble for this or not. I mean, honestly, I can't get in trouble. I'm a grown ass woman. But the thing about it is that he told me a year and a half ago.
Who is he?
Jaw.
Okay.
A year and a half ago, when you said that, I knew what it meant. He didn't say anything to me, and he told me, I knew when you said that, I was going to put it in this show. And he's told other people that nobody could tell him to what to put and not to put in, because this is his show. I'm just saying, you wanna lie on me, I'm gonna air out the truth. I'm so sorry about it.
Well,
that's my truth. That is my truth. That is my truth.
I mean, you heard it here first. It was,
so
and I will say this.
I take full accountability for what I said, but I'm not alone in this situation.
I'm gonna have to give you your props on that, Delicious. There are people in the comments that now they're saying, now it makes more sense. Because it was so left field. It was so like, whoa. And not just that, but with the way that the apologies were there, the way that the word itself was bleeped out. So the fact that it was bleeped out, I don't know how many of you caught that, but when you said it, it wasn't, you know, the censor beat. It was just after you said "lit," and then they bleeped out the vowel sound, is how you censored it.
That was thrown in because they aired it twice. That was the last episode that just aired this past Sunday. They bleeped it out. But the episode before that, they showed it at the very end, and they said the whole thing. They said the whole thing. So besides all of this backlash from a whole week, and you still chose to put it in again. And not only is that making the show look bad again, but you're trying to make me look like something that I'm not again. And that's where all of this stuff ties in. That's why the editing and all that was kind of off this episode with Hakeem and him getting mad with me saying the N-word and trying to fight me. It didn't make sense because they created this narrative of me to cover their ass because they didn't want the backlash. And they left me to pick up the pieces, and they purposely made me look out to be a racist so that way I could take the blame for the whole entire thing. I'm so sorry about it, John, but that's my truth. Because you guys lied on me this episode. I get what you were trying to say with the whole evoking emotion and conversation and dialogue and whatever. There was so many other ways that you could have went about that. You know what? I said my piece. And I yelled at him and I said, how dare you do this to me? Like, I get it. Like, but you know what? With the whole like, oh, okay, whatever. But then you go to this episode and you deliberately lie on my name and you deliberately and purposely try to make me out to be somebody I'm not, to save your own motherfucking ass and to save your own show because you knew that you fucked up. I know I fucked up. I know I fucked up, but like he tries to tell the live and everybody else, oh, I don't think she fully understands. Do you fully understand what you have done? Not only to this community, the show, but have you understood what you have done to me? Because I am not this person. And how dare you make me out to be somebody that I am not? Because the person that you saw in that interview for 45 minutes, that's who I am. I am not this person. And how dare you do this to me?
I'm going to say this. I'm not gonna say it on behalf of anybody because people I'll get dragged for that. I'm gonna say this on behalf of myself. I'm sorry that this happened to you. We know that the word is extremely harmful, and people that have the knowledge of the word, we know that having this bit of information, and this is why. One moment. This is why I wanted you to come here, because I always believe that in further dialogue in a society now where people don't like to talk, we just want to tweet, we want to share, we want to post and be done with it. I believe in dialogue. In dialoguing with you, I have learned a lot tonight, and so have a lot of people in the comments. The energy in the comments was completely different on the first and even a good part of the second part of this interview. But now that we're here and you're really explaining it in detail, people are starting to finally understand that it sounds like you were used. It sounds like your ignorance was used against you. And again, this is not, you heard it straight from sources right on the show. All I do is, share what comes across my feed and try to amplify it so that people can learn. But the way that I'm understanding it, the ignorance that you expressed in that moment, that you immediately, based by your own words and a few, I would love to have somebody that could, that you would be able to send here that could corroborate what you're saying, because I would like to get the confirmation. I believe you,
but
I would love to get a confirmation.
There's a live from the Justice League that another cast member, his name is Ike, he went on, our other executive producer, KL, went on, and he said on there that not only did he tell him not to put this on, I told him to put it on, and he also addresses that I immediately broke down when I found out in those confessionals what that meant.
Yeah, I see that. I think that, I'm sorry. I'm just going to be honest, and I'm a shit fixer, and it doesn't matter where. Now let me before I hit my punchline, I'm gonna say this.
Because even my performance, even my performance in this last episode, they made me look so crazy. I do these little noises and stuff, but they're ad-libs. But the way that, and everybody that, I had people from that night hit me up and they'd be like, why did they make you look like that? Your performance was amazing. Like, you did so good. Like, it just, you guys made me look crazy. The way that you edited it, and you kept like repeating my little ad-libs, and it's like, you made me look crazy. You made me look like my performance was trash. Like, you made me look like trash. Like, it's beside all of the racism and the whatever, like, you purposely are doing this to me. And I really feel like there's a hatred behind it now. Okay. I really, and I don't want to go too deep into that. We could do it. It's all right. It just, listen, I really feel like, always say, whenever the thing about it is because I understand, I get it, that you were hurt by me saying that. But that is when you step out of a producer, an executive producer point, and now you're looking at it as something personal. You should have stepped into that executive producer role and been like, okay, look, what am I doing? Yeah. Because how dare you? And I think that matters. What you're saying, I do believe that it matters. And as I said, I'm a shit fixer. I got to tell the truth no matter who it is. I tend to go off on some of you cast members because I think that a lot of cast members like saying production because it's the production is the easy fall guy. I have seen that happen a lot. Where people, they just say, well, production said, well, production was like, and production was going, and when they say that, there's people not wanting to take accountability for their stuff. This, to me, is different. This is different. When you see a situation that is good, I think somebody said it earlier, it seemed like good clickbait. To like put that out there and say that you said that, now that I know the full spectrum of what was said and what you tried to do to prevent it, and it was still used, I got an issue with that. I've got an issue with that. And I'm sorry, I gotta call it out. And production of any show, I'm just saying what I say. I'm always gonna stand up for production in most cases because I know that they're trying to get good content. This was the wrong call. This call right here could cost everyone everything. Yes. In a time right now where, again, like I said, I understand reality TV. I get it. I get it shady. I get it gets messy. I get it gets physical. I get all that. But there are certain things, given the climate that we're in right now, that we're in a pandemic. We got race wars going on. We know we're probably marching towards a civil war right now. With come November, we don't. This was
this was one of those integrity choices. I'm just saying what I feel. This was one of those integrity choices that, being the production of the show, you have to look at it and say, okay, now wait a minute. We know that this girl didn't mean that because we see her tears. We see that she didn't understand it. How she didn't know, we don't know. But based on what she's saying and hearing you say it out loud, it's like, okay, I can see how that could kind of happen. Everybody has to learn what it is. People don't come out of the womb knowing what it is, and we can't just assume that everyone does. So the fact that you saw it, you asked, you didn't know, you thought it was just a word, you thought that it was equivocated to beat them up or even worse, but that was just it based on just gang violence or, you know, machismo, you know, that whole thing. You didn't know that it was directly related to slavery. And you're saying that you have people that understood that in the moment and it was still used. I got an issue with that. Auntie has an issue with that. I've got an issue with that. I don't believe in destroying people. I just don't believe in it. I don't care how easy it seems. I don't care how we try to build up our perspectives to justify somebody being dragged and destroyed. I don't believe in that. If somebody's being used, I don't care who it is, no one deserves to be used. And so for that, yeah, I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that this experience has rolled out the way that it has. Because the choices that were made are having a great effect on you. They're having a tremendous effect on your brand and everything that you're trying to do right now. Painting someone as a racist in this day is one of the worst things you could have happen to you.
And I wanna comment on that too. A lot of people, like, you know, the thing about it is just the kind of like, because a lot of people are trying to ask me, well, how are you doing? How are you doing? How do you feel? And I kind of talked about it earlier about saying, you know, we almost lost me or whatever, but to kind of direct it in a different light, you know, everybody, when it comes to the African American community right now, they're telling me, oh, you don't know what it's like to be Black. You don't know what it's like to be Black. You know what? I'm not that skin color. I probably will never be able to fully, but I can relate. I've had very many experiences where, you know, I have had to run from the cops. I fear from the cops. I got pulled over one time with my Black brothers with me, and the cop was like, oh, you're with them? Mm-hmm. Excuse me?
Yeah.
And then I get something harsh on me because I'm with these people. So I have faced it a little bit too. But another thing is and the main thing is to be a minority and also be labeled a racist is such a sit on the fence kind of type of emotion. I can't even fathom to explain how it feels. And that's something that, you know, like I was saying, and I don't mean this in a bad way. And I've said it on other lives, and I told my brothers and sisters, it's you know, being African Americans, you guys will never know what it's like to be a minority and also be labeled a racist, because you can't be a racist. It's like I'm sitting right now on this fence of being a minority and being in the Black community, but also being labeled a racist. And it's like, it's mortifying. It hurts. It's so hurtful. And it's just like, where do I fit in now?
Yeah.
I don't want to say where do I fit in, but it's kind of like, damn, you know, like.
Yeah. Well, you gotta at this juncture now, you got some navigating you got to do. Yeah. And as I said before, the biggest thing you can do right now is just navigate your actions. Yeah. Because time will get rid of that. This is my thing, and it's because I know there are people that, and I'm glad you're concentrating on me. People are going to say everything in the comments. Okay, I get people. There are people here that are for this conversation, people that are not, and it's perfectly okay. Yeah, either way. But what I want to say for you is you have to think beyond this, because if you were a racist, and I'm gonna say it like this. Allow me to say it like this. If you are a racist, I'm hearing you say that you're not, and based on our conversation and what you described, I don't believe that you are. But if you are, we'll find out. You get what I'm saying? Out of your heart, that there's a scripture that says, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. If you're really a racist, it's gonna show up somewhere else. So my thing, you feel what I'm saying? If somebody says that anyone is anything, and it's true, and that person denies it, the person will not be able to run away from themselves long enough to where something else is going to come up, and something else is going to come up. How we all know that Donald Trump is a racist? He consistently aligns himself with racism and all of that. So we get it. So with this situation, the only thing that we can do is watch your actions, and that's to anybody that gets their shoe caught in the shit. All we can do is look at that person's actions, and that person's actions will let you know did Delicious keep saying or doing racist things after this. If that's really who you are, that's going to come up. If you're not, that's going to come up. Time will always cancel out what happened in the past, or time will cancel or confirm what has happened in your past. The only thing you can do is walk forward. There are people that are not going to believe you. There are people that are going to tear you apart. There are people that are going to take great pleasure in trying to add it up so that you never look good. The only thing you can do now, Delicious, is hold your head up high. You've admitted what you've done, and you said, I'm sorry. You're ready to move forward. That's all anyone can do. That is all anyone can do when they found out that they have hurt people. The only thing you can do is with your heart say, I'm sorry, and move on. I'm glad that you came here to do it, because the video, the apology that they put in the episode, I'm not even sure if that was shade, because we've seen those apologies before. Like, everyone was looking at it with, the emoji where it's like, everyone was looking at the apology like that, because we've seen time and time again where people do something racist and then say, I'm sorry, I didn't know. We've seen it so many times. So that looked the same way. And I said, if she's willing to come here and talk with me about it, we will be able to hear at length what is in her heart and judge based on that. I didn't want people to judge it based on that apology. The whole way that played out, the whole episode, I can't take the not that I don't take your apology seriously, but the reason that they put the apology in there, I side-eye that. The reason why
honestly, I didn't even take my own apology seriously because of what they did leading up to that. It was like,
you said it was music
I was like,
and stuff, right?
Why even throw this? I was like, why even throw this in now? You're making me look even more crazy. Literally, like I said, you're making a mockery out of it. Like,
I didn't like that. I didn't like all the PSAs that were just appearing out of nowhere. Where I'm like, I've never seen so many PSAs in one episode. Like, what are we trying to? So what that lets me know is that I'm just calling it like I see it. What that lets me know is the people that were editing or producing the episode, they were very aware of what was getting ready to go out there and wanted to save their own ass. That's what it looks like to me. I don't have a dog in the fight. It is what it is. I don't care who it is. I'm gonna call it like I see it. That looked like a selfish move. But it was under the guise of, we're about equality and we want to push a positive message. That's not how this season was. That's not how especially this episode was not edited with good intentions. This episode was edited with very veiled intentions.
With hatred.
It was. I'm sorry, it was. That's how I look at it.
And I have to say, I only say all of this because they took so many opportunities to lie on me, especially just this last episode, that I have no choice but to speak the truth and my truth.
Hey, Gardini.
But I do have to say, I do feel like there's better things to come out of the show to come. This was kind of the climax of like, okay, like, are we going to get any worse than this? Like, I don't think that there could be much worse than this. I hope not. At least I wasn't there for it. But like I said, it gets more positive from here. And here's
the other thing too with that, Delicious. So right now, what you got to do, the other parts of this shit fix, is you're in a lot of heat right now. You better use this. Hear me. You better use every bit of this to propel you forward. Whenever we're hit hard and everything falls apart and everyone is against us and the odds are stacked and they're not in our favor, you've got to use that. So at this point now, as I said before, I commend you as a woman for having the confidence and self-security to come on out here and have a very extensive conversation where we have a lot that people can build a narrative for themselves about. Now what you do after this, you pick up these broken pieces and you keep moving. Now it's time for you to run the race. This is gonna be here for a minute. You have to now fight like artists before you have fought. Now, I mean, and imagine you're at this level in your career. What would it would feel like to have millions of people? Like this is a good lesson to learn at this level, because you have notoriety. You know what I'm saying? You have notoriety. People know your name. You have a following. I looked at your Instagram. You got thousands of people that are on there that adore you and think that you're amazing. And I think that that's great. So now you need to grab hold of those people. Grab hold to that love and that support. And now you're going to know who's really for you. That's what you got to turn this thing around, baby. Turn this thing around and run forward. Use every bit of it. People want to say negative stuff. It is what it is. All of this conflict that's going on right now. The funny thing about this, if you treat this the right way, this thing will turn your whole career around. It will turn your whole presence around. It will turn your ability to go and actually speak with love to the community that was trying to set you up. I'm going to call it like I see it. What you do now, you've aired it out. And this is how I feel. Let this be the air out. And I can't tell you how to, conduct your life the way you see fit. But in my opinion, let this be the one and only time that you air this shit out. You said it here. I do plan to take that one clip. I want to make sure I share that isolated clip because I believe that your story needs that. And what was meant for bad, turn it into good. What people meant to destroy you with, you take that thing and you build something up. Don't you let what was intended to take you down, don't you let that take control. You take control of the situation. You stand up and you become a better Delicious than be so delicious that we're addicted to it. Okay? You take this moment and build yourself up. Become an advocate. Become the best advocate and ally ever. Do that. As I said before, I want Charlie to come on because I want to deal with Charlie. Because while we're focusing on you today, I am not for what he said to you. I want to deal with Akeem. I am not for what he did to you. But what we can do right now in this situation, baby, is we can build you up. You so far are the only one who has decided you were going to come on. And not that they turned me down. I've sent messages. I'm waiting to hear back from them. I hope that they make the right choice. Because at this point now, the only confidence that I see is in you. You were the only one who was willing to put her pride away and to come out here and say, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna come out here. I want to become what? Stronger and
you know why?
Better.
Because I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for our culture and for us.
Talk about it. Talk about it.
And you know what is another thing to take it there?
Yeah.
Regardless of what we went through, and I've said it on plenty platforms, plenty of interviews. I may not, however I feel about Charlie and what we went through is one thing, but I will never take away from his artistry and what he brings to our community as far as evolving our community with music and everything, like just in general, evolving our community. And I will always have respect for him for that. Now, how I feel about him and what we share, I don't even want to talk about it. Maybe one day we could get to a better common ground. But that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's some real shit. Like, I respect what you bring to our community because I'm truly trying to make a difference, and that's all that I've wanted to do. And the thing about this is that, I don't want to say that this is a blessing in disguise, but they've tried to tear me down. And like you said, I'm going to take this and turn this into something great because let me tell you something. I have gained so much wisdom and knowledge, and beside respect, with wisdom and knowledge comes power. And there's honestly, I could say there's probably nothing that I have not been through. Now, after this experience, I've been through a lot of motherfucking shit in my life. In my short almost 28 years of living, being a gay boy, being a trans woman, being in gangs, being like a lot of stuff. Like, there's not much that I haven't been through, but this by far is one of the most life-changing experiences that I've had. And I am so much stronger from this. And honestly, there will probably be nothing that I will not be able to ever handle now.
Listen, this is it. Everybody has the big one. You had the big one. You can go only up from here. I'm telling you, I see it in you. You're making the change. Delicious. I got your back.
Thank you.
I got your back. And the reason why I got your back is because, babe, I got you. You did the right thing. You came here, you addressed it, you didn't run from it. I loved how you even said it, even when they put that in the episode. I love that you said that. You said, I'm not running from this. I made a mistake. When people, let me tell you all, this is for the audience. When someone does that, even though there may be things about it we don't like, when someone says, I am not running from this, I'm going to hit this head on. There are people that I hurt. There are people that I love. I did not know. We have to get to a point to where we are willing to forgive. And not just forgive anybody that just says, I'm sorry, because anybody can say I'm sorry. But not many people show that they're sorry. You showed it today. This took humility. This took so many things. This took putting yourself away and loving and being generous with the fact that, I want, this is not for me. This is not for the show. This is not for my album. This is not for anything concerning Delicious. I want people to love each other. I want to show that I love people. You have a prime opportunity now to completely reinvent yourself. Yeah. When you're out there and listen, do your thing, baby. But when you're out there, show the as much as you can, the full diaspora of both communities. Do you know how fortunate you are to be able to know the full spectrum of Mexican culture? And now, as you continue to have conversations, the full expansion of Black culture, you're speaking 2 languages now. Mm-hmm. Now you can be a conduit, and now you can go back to your community. And when people say things that are off, you tell them, no, baby, you can't say that. Well, why not? I mean, it's fine. No, this is why. And now you become the educator. This is why we need to forgive people. When you forgive people, it allows that person to learn if they really want to learn. If they really want to grow up, if they really want to become stronger and better, that's what we have to forgive so that they have the tools to go back and stop it. But what a lot of people do, Delicious, and I know you're learning this, a lot of people love to stay in a state of complaining. We love to stay in the state of blaming. We love to stay in the state today of canceling. It feels good to know I can get rid of you. And then it really, honestly, even the people, Delicious, that don't see it for you, after how much you've shared and how honest you've been, there are people that's what makes them move. That's what gives them meaning when they get up in the morning, is seeing life as somebody else's fault. Part of life is forgiving and letting go. And when you see that a person really means it, we owe it to humanity, because we owe it to ourselves to let that person grow. You're growing tonight, and everyone is seeing it. The entire feed has changed. Thank you. I don't know if you've been looking at it in your peripheral. In the beginning, it was a very different energy, but that's why I stayed with you. I was like, baby, just stay on me. They're going to say anything. The entire
I try not to pay attention to everything, but I'll take your word. I'll take your word.
I have your back.
I want to say something too.
Go ahead,
because I know a lot of people have been like, oh, well, what have you learned? Oh, well, what have you done to kind of like, I'm just going to name something specific that I've done to kind of like, just one thing. Okay. I'm just going to throw it out there. There's a series on Hulu, which I intend to watch the movie and read the book, but there's a series on Hulu. It's called Roots.
Yes.
I watched it. There's 4 parts. In each one, it was literally like almost 8 hours altogether. Like,
yeah, you watched the new one.
The old one got like 10. It was so powerful.
Yes.
And it was so filled with emotion, and it filled me with so much like, I understand, I get it. I get it now. Like, and the thing about it is to kind of tie them together was just like the way that they would just sell people off and sell children off and just tear families apart and keep people like locked up and just all of this stuff. And it was just like, like things back then, and I will never take away from like slavery and all that, but it's like things that happened back then are still happening now. Instead of it being in the African American culture, it's in the Latin and Hispanic culture. People are trying to be deported with ISIS. Kids are being ripped away from their families. They're being held in cages. They're being held halfway between, like, so it's in a modern day within a different culture now. Like, and it's like, that was my kind of relative to kind of cohesively tie our cultures together. That's why we are all considered minorities, because we all have gone through some type of oppression if we aren't still going through it. And it was just so powerful. And there was just one scene by the end of it, it was just like, damn, like, they're just trying to fucking get home, and they still just like, it's one thing after another, and they just trying to get back to their family. Like, one went to go see, like, get, it was just like, oh my God, like,
Yes.
I
And
get
that's the
it. I
thing.
get it. And
I'm glad
it
that
changed me.
I'm glad you took the time to do that. And the thing is, and I don't know, and I think why some people were shocked, they're to believe it or not, they're still lynching people right now. When all the George Floyd situation happened, they were literally still lynching people in Chicago, in California. And I want to say here too. It was in Atlanta, and I believe California. And if anybody knows any of the other cities where they were literally going old school, getting a rope, tying somebody up, and stringing them up in a tree. There's a song that I want you to listen to when you get a chance. It's called Strange Fruit by Nina Simone. That song talks about lynching. Is one of the very famous songs that Black culture has, where it literally it refers to Black people as strange fruit. That they would string us up and we would look like other pieces of fruit, but it was people. When you get a chance, listen to that song, listen to the sadness in that song, listen to where it's coming from, listen to the pain. Listen to any Nina Simone song. Your whole perspective, I'll be honest with you, Delicious, even in your own music, let me offer this. Even in your own music, as you begin to immerse yourself in the tragedy and the triumph of Black culture as a whole, even the music that you put out is going to change. Even what you release as an artist, it will still have come on, we still, everybody trying to be turned up. Don't ever leave that. But you're going to see that as a woman and as an artist, you're going to grow. You're going to see so much stuff and experience so many things and hear so many narratives. Just take your time and really just immerse yourself in that so that you can just become a full artist. You're a full woman, a full knowledgeable person about things. So many beautiful things about the culture. What happens a lot of times is, and it's, again, I can't fully blame you for this, people grab the fun parts of our culture. Because out of all that pain is where we've come up with rap and a lot of the styles and the hairstyles and clothes styles. A lot of that came out of the pain and the depriving that Black people didn't get anything. We didn't get anything. So we had to make our own. But then when we made our own, that became attractive. So then a lot of the people that oppressed Black people the first time, they went back into the culture, grabbed those things and made money off of them. So it's a constant cycle. So when you come in, there's let me say this to you too. There is a privilege that you have that you can go between several worlds. So you can do, Black culture and it's cool, but then there's also places that you can go that many Black people can't go. And when you can get out there, or when others they get out there that aren't Black, but they can adopt some of the Black features or Black nuances, you get privileges that we're still left behind. So there's this compounded pain that is not your fault. It's just something to know. And when you know it, you can move differently. And I think that's all you're really wanting in all of this is you just want to know so you can move differently. And I can.
You know what? I don't think I've ever had it put it to me like that. That really touched me.
Yeah.
That really touched me. Because I think I've had other people try to tell me that, but they say it in a sense of like, oh, you have this white girl mentality, or you feel like you have this privilege. But with you saying that, like that really just spoke to me. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
But I think that's all the more reason.
I appreciate you for listening to that.
I think that's all the more reason. And even now, that's going to make me go even harder for this community and for our culture. And it's because
there you go. That's what I want to hear.
I have that privilege to move through worlds. I'm going to stand up, like, you know what I'm saying? It's going to take people like me to like really be like, look, like.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Wow.
Oh, no, it's my pleasure, baby. Thank you for listening.
I really get what you're saying. I really got that. I really, really got that.
Thank you for listening to me.
I think that's all more the reason and why I want to go even harder now that you just said that. Like, I want to stand up for this because I can't, like, if I do have that privilege to move through places, like, I'm going to take this wherever I go. I'm going to take this to, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yes. And to what you were saying earlier, so you know this too, when people are, a lot of people, they can't, and I understand why, it's difficult for many people to express their pain. And so the only thing that they see in you is privilege. And so when they're explaining things, it comes from a place of accusation as opposed to versus education. Yeah. We can't always assume that somebody that has the privilege is aware of their privilege and trying to hurt us with it. A lot of people are, but not everybody. And we have to have the discernment to know those that are not doing that, which I believe is someone such as yourself. You don't mean anything by, and I'm not putting words in your mouth I don't feel. I'm listening to everything you've said to me tonight. From what I've heard you say, you are not trying to hurt anybody. There were hurtful things that were said. There were things that were brought out. There were ignorant moments that have now been rebounded from. But at the end of all of it, you really love what you're experiencing. And when you get so comfortable in those spaces, then when you learn that you've made a mistake, hopefully that same community that receive you because of all the fun that you do, they can sit you down like we're doing now and say, hey, baby, okay, so this is what happened today. I just want to let you know, ain't no tea, it's good, just so you know and be aware of it. And then no one tries to use it against you.
Yeah.
That's what you need now. Use more discernment as you're going forward now, Delicious. When you're dealing with people, my advice, use more discernment. Know the people that you're around. And even when you get into business things with other people, again, reality TV was never meant to be pretty. In no way am I ever suggesting that. But understand in that world when you're being misused. Listen to what is not being said. Know what you may need to do. There may be, and I'm just giving you a little bit of advice. You may need to, as people make you sign contracts, you may need to reverse that power and say, listen, you feel me? You got to look out for you now.
Yeah.
You know what? I really feel kind of odd about that situation, and I don't want there to be no mess. Can you sign this NDA that you won't use that against me? See what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely.
You gotta start looking out for you. That's just facts. Because people are going, as long as you're always on someone else's dime, they can do whatever they want to do.
And I think that
they have no reason.
That's another point that I kind of, to tie that in is just like I feel like there's a hatred towards me.
Yeah.
Being who I am, trying to come up and being this public figure out here in Atlanta, and it's just like knowing that I have that, and it's like you took that and knowing the power that I have and the respect that I have, and you use it against me.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, like, but
and what you got to know, and I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say it, then we'll make it pretty in a second. Let me just say it hard to you first.
Yes.
You were the loud. I'm be real cut and dry with you. You were the loudmouth Latina that they needed. You needed to fill that spot, and because of all these shows are always about, oh yeah, come on, you need to bring the heat. You filled that spot. You came in there. You was the loud Latina girl that again had that Cardi edge, and it's a good fit for the show. It's diverse because you're Latina, and then you have the trans element. So there were a lot of things that were working in your favor, and then you're pretty. So there were a lot of things that were working in your favor that you filled a certain spot that was good for the show. There is nothing wrong with that. But when you find people that take that and they twist it, that's where you got to be careful. And that's when they take those things, those things that should be good attributes, and they twist them and they contort it. That's where you got to watch out for it. And as you're going forward in your career, you're going to experience that a lot.
Our producer had actually said, I knew that it would be interesting putting a non-colored or a Mexican in with a group of Black people. And I wanted to see how it was going to play out. And I do take partial ownership of that I fell into that trap.
Yeah. Because in the beginning, everything looks good. I've been out on how many situations like this. In the beginning, when everybody's having their first set of drinks, when everyone's going to dinner for the first time, when everyone's hanging out, we all show up with our...
when I was sitting eating that food after everybody had that's really me. That's really me. I did not indulge in all that food fight, and I was like, look, I went and hid behind the curtain. I was like,
that too. Yeah.
Okay, and then I came back out and I finished eating my food. I said, bitch, I don't give a fuck about anybody.
That was
this
hilarious.
Show. I came to
that was hilarious.
Eat is what I'm going to do.
That was hilarious. I want you to know that I literally screamed when you sat there and ate that food. I said, oh God.
Okay.
That was a perfect moment. And at that time, baby, that's what should have happened. I'm gonna sit here and eat my food. So yes, just you get it. I was hoping that in all of this that I said I just want her to get it. I just want her to get it. Even if we don't agree, I don't care about any of that, Delicious. I just want you to get it and just go on.
Yeah.
Go to your next. Go ahead and turn the page. After tonight, I want you to get a good night's rest. Turn the page, baby. Wake up with a renewed sense of self, a renewed sense of artistry. I want you to wake up refreshed. Forgive yourself. One more song. Did you write the first song down? I told you.
Get
your pen.
The fruit.
Get your pen, baby. Go and get your pen now.
Well, wait, hold on. I don't have a pen. Okay, look.
I need you to write it down. These are important songs.
DM me the song as soon as we get off the live, and
I'll do it. I'll DM you.
I'm actually going to listen to it, and I'll let you know how I feel.
Okay. So let me leave you with this. So I'm a DM. So the first song I want you to listen to was that. Second song I want you to listen to is a song called "I Forgive Me" by Kelly Price.
Okay.
This song is important because that's the healing you need right now. The world is not going to forgive you so easily. Mm-hmm. And when they find a new piece of carcass to rip apart, they're going to do that until there's nothing but bones left. I'm not going to let that happen to you. There's a second song by Kelly Price called "I Forgive Me." I want you to listen to that song and take that in. And literally, it is just washing yourself clean of your mistakes. And not beating yourself up over and over. I'm going to send those two songs to you. I really believe that you need them. I think they'll do a lot for you. But just in all of this, Delicious, hold your head up high. Know that I've got your back.
Thank you. And
I'm going to also send my number in the DMs. I want you to stay in contact with me.
Yes, please. Yes.
Is that all right?
Yes, I'd love that. Very much.
All right. I want you to stay in contact. I've got your back. I see you, girl. I'm with you.
Thank you. I just want to say too, thank you so much for all the love and support. Thank you for bringing me on here. I hear and I listen to everything that you're saying. I've appreciated this conversation and this live so much, and it's been so liberating.
Thank you.
And you know, I really do feel like a weight has kind of been lifted off my shoulders after this. In a sense,
that's what I want to hear.
I feel more powerful. I feel liberated. I feel more knowledgeable, and I just feel fucking better. Like, thank you so much. I just feel fucking.
I'm glad for that. I'm glad for that. You got to do something with me. So whenever we have these really good sessions, I always say I want you to become stronger and better. So I need you to do that for me.
Wait, say it again for me.
So now you feel. So you will say, "I'm delicious and I feel stronger and better."
Okay, I'm delicious and I feel stronger and better.
You gotta shimmy. You gotta shimmy.
Ooh, I just spilled some of my drink. Ooh, I shimmied a little too hard there. But it's okay. It's okay. We just gonna spill a little bit for the
okay. Oh, good. I love you, baby.
I love you too. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. I'm gonna send that to you right after we get off the call. I'm gonna text it to you tonight.
Yes, please, and your number.
Yes, and let everybody know they need to follow or anything. Feel free to go ahead and sell your products. Sell your
brand. Obviously, we obviously, here at Instagram, Delicious Maserati. I have a YouTube. It's the same thing, Delicious Maserati. Make sure you get the spelling right, or you're gonna get a bunch of food stuff of delicious, not the SH delicious. Make sure you correct that. But
right.
So just here on YouTube, and I got some cute stuff on there. I got some mukbangs with candy and all of that good stuff. I got some other stuff that I'm really wanting to. I want to get my YouTube going and just kind of have a different, kind of whatever. But for the most part, I'm here on Instagram, so that's where you can catch me. But thank you again.
We support you, baby. I got you. Let's follow each other. I'll make sure I support everything you do.
Oh, period. Thank you.
Okay. Have a good night, baby. I'm gonna send the information to you.
Yes, thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. Listen, baby, that's why I do this work. Thank you so much. Listen, I know that may have been for many people a difficult conversation to have, but that's what I do this for. I want people to literally become stronger and better. I mean it. Even Coco stayed. Did Coco stay up? Because Coco goes to bed. So did Coco stay up? Listen, I want to thank everyone that took time to watch this on tonight. I really do. It means a lot to me. It is my heart's desire that we can start loving each other again. I know that right now we have so many reasons to fight each other and go off and drag, you know, all that kind. You know what I'm saying? What she did. I cannot believe the Coco stayed up to the Coco. That's why I love her. Okay, that's my girl. But listen, I want everybody to go get you a good night's sleep. And like I told Delicious, I want everyone to wake up refreshed in the morning. Okay, this has been a wonderful shit fix on tonight. She didn't have to come here and do that. She literally came here and bore her soul for all of us. And I'm thankful that she did that. I'm thankful that she admitted things. And let's build people up when they make moves like that. Not just saying I'm sorry because somebody put some little cue card in front of your face and said, read this. That ain't nothing. But when somebody actually takes the time to show you that they want to change, we need to acknowledge that. All right. So I had a wonderful time tonight. I will see you on Wednesday. And as I told many of you, Brandon K is going to be here on Friday. So we're filled up with some G status this week. So I think Sherrod is out there. He'll be with us on Wednesday. And then we'll have Brandon K on Friday. So I'm enjoying these moments. Hopefully you are too. I am ready to go to bed, as I'm sure you all are. I love you all so much. As always, my name is imanivanzap. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye, babies.